Hello, today we will discuss digital electronics. To understand it, we have to study the basic signals. Now, as you can see, the signal here, this signal is basically continuous in nature. You can see here, if you plot the axis, mark the axis here, and x and y axis. So you can see here, if this on the y axis, if you see this is amplitude, here this is amplitude, and on the x-axis you can see this is time. Here is the time. So you can see this wave is continuous in nature. This is one of the sinusoidal wave. Now this real world which we are seeing from our eyes is continuous in nature, and you can say roughly you can say that it is analog in nature roughly, because so this is basically analog signal. Now if you go to study digital signal, now on the right hand side, and this is a digital signal. Now you can say that it has only two values, either 1 or 0. You can see here, so it has only two values. Now time is plotted with respect to amplitude here, so either 0, output is either 0 or 1. You can say that amplitude is having value either 0 or 1. Okay, so but here if you compare with the analog, it has continuous value. It can have any value, that it can have 0 0.1, 0 0.2, 1, 2, 3, 4. It can take any value. And this is the basic difference between the digital and the analog signals basically. Now the basic work of this digital was introduced by George Boole in 1938. Now after that, this Claude Shannon, C. Shannon, gave the concept of this communication system. Okay, now after that, in 1971, Intel Corporation of USA introduced first microprocessor. Now all of we know that this microprocessor is a digital device which work on this binary system 0 and 1. So after the introduction of this microprocessor, these digital devices came in picture. They just start booming, and the growth we can see nowadays. We are having smartphones, we are surrounded by digital devices. There are so many. Okay, so you can see on the screen the speaker, thermometer, and this microphone is there. Another type of devices are digital camera, mobile phones, iPad, mp3 player, and there so on. Now you can see here the first class is analog in nature. We also include headphones in that. And the second class is digital in nature. So let us take example, simple example, that you are having a smart speaker. You may have CD, Alexa, any one of this smart speakers, and you want to communicate with them. So as we are from the real world, and I told you that real world is continuous or analog in nature. So if you are speaking from the real world, the signal generated will be of analog in nature. So and this smart speaker is digital in nature because they don't understand your voice directly. So what will happen? We need a analog to digital converter to understand what she is saying here. Now you can see here You can see here, this is analog to digital converter, which convert this analog signal in 1 0 form. Okay, because any digital device, whether it is your mobile phone, smartwatch, your computer, laptop, they don't understand this analog signal. They need an analog to digital converter to understand it, to process it. So after this conversion, they process the signal, and accordingly, after the process, they return the digital output. Then here you should have, which is missing here, you should have digital to analog converter here, because output is needed in the real world. Okay, they will not give the output in terms of 1 0 1 0 1 0 1 and 1 in the form of 1 and 0. So they will give you output in the form of this analog, okay, which will be continuous in nature. So you can see here the voice is converted to a digital signal, then the processing will be there. Then after processing, because processing will be done in the form of digital signal, okay, here you should have a DAC, digital to analog converter will be there. Okay, so this is how this digital system will work, and all these things, your laptop, computers, well, mobile phone, your smartwatches, okay, they are digital in nature. They don't understand this analog signal, so we have to convert them. That's why we are studying this subject, because to understand these devices deeply, you should have the basic knowledge of this subject. Okay, so in the this coming classes, we will be going to study what are the different types of the signals in that subject. Okay, thank you.